Hello, I'm Adam Shapiro, and you probably heard about this. Starbucks is helping their employees get a free online college education. The coffee giant announced a program to help its baristas earn degrees without requiring them to remain with the company. Now, while some believe the plan will boost Starbucks' reputation, others say it could backfire and send Starbucks employees to better jobs. Joining us for analysis is author and business executive Keith Wyche. I pronounced that correctly, Keith?
You got it correct, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. And you certainly have a storied career in business, but your thoughts about what Starbucks is doing just overall. Is this the right strategy?
I think it is, and the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I got a degree that way. My first employer offered a very similar program. And I think what they're doing is they're setting the stage to say, hey, we value our associates. Not only do we value them, we're investing in them. And in fact, they actually call them partners. They don't even call them associates or employees.
At one point, you were at Pitney Bowes, and I was curious. I had once heard a theory that the way to get the most out of your employees is to let them aim for whatever it is they want, even if it's leaving the company, because while they're with you, you'll get the best. Was that something you used at Pitney Bowes and in other careers?
Well, what you learn is that in this new generation, there's no more 30 years in a gold watch. And so what you want to do is get the most out of the employee, have them the most engaged while they're with you. And typically happier, engaged employees will stay with you longer. No one's going to probably stay 30 years for the gold watch, but they will stay longer if they're engaged.
In fact, Starbucks, as I understand the plan, the first 2 years, it's they pay a portion of it. But then if you're in your final 2 years, your junior and senior year, they'll pay all of it for the online courses, correct? This is through Arizona
State University. Absolutely. The value is about $30,000, and so it's really a great investment. It's really a great way to say, hey, not only am I investing in you as a worker, I want to really have you be a continuous learner, because continuous learners lead to intellectual curiosity, and that leads to innovation.
But, of course, Starbucks has no requirement that you remain a year or two after getting the degree. Will that work against them, or does it fall into that philosophy? If you help people achieve their dreams, you'll get the most out of them while they work for you?
I think there's no doubt they may lose a few associates and employees along the way, but I think they'll see a great improvement in the retention rate, and more importantly, they may see other associates coming from other companies to come work there to be a part of that culture.
We've profiled UPS, and UPS at Worldport in Kentucky actually has a program for people who work overnight shift, where they'll pay for the college tuition. Sure. It's an affiliated school nearby, and there's no requirement that the people stay. Now, UPS has a history of people staying decades. Do you think you could see not only brand loyalty built, but also employee loyalty built through these kinds of programs?
Absolutely. I mean, Starbucks is really leading the way in this. I mean, even with health care, I mean, they offer that to their part-time and full-time workers. They didn't walk away from health care. This is a benefit they're offering to both part-time and full-time workers. So they're creating a culture that says, come work for us, we value you, we'll invest in you.
But what do you think is the key management mistake that bosses make in trying to earn the loyalty of their employees?
One, trying to buy it. You can't buy loyalty. And secondly, trying to enforce it. You can't legislate loyalty. I mean, you really have to create a culture and an environment. I say people don't leave companies, they really leave bosses. And so it's really important for that supervisor to create an atmosphere where people feel valued and important.
Is Starbucks the first, I want to say just a basic service company? Because essentially what they're doing is they're serving you coffee. To provide this kind of benefit, usually this would be something associated with something a little bit higher up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you tend to see this at a very high-level company, an IBM or an AT&T, for example. I don't know if they're the first, but they're definitely leading the way with these types of initiatives.
Is this going to perhaps create competition for jobs at Starbucks among, well, you'll have some people who've dropped out of high school and may not have a higher education, whereas you'll have people who are high school graduates who are going to want that paid for education through Starbucks. Might they be pushing those people out?
Not pushing out. I think they'll be attracting two crowds. The crowd you just spoke to, and maybe the older associate who never really finished their degree, and they get a chance to come back, work for a great company, and get their degree.
Where are the critics who are saying this could backfire on Starbucks missing it?
I think where they're missing is the fact that people want to feel valued and appreciated. And pay is important, but at the end of the day, this says you're investing in me as a person. And the fact that I can walk away without owing you anything says you really believe in me.
Did you get phone calls from some of the people with whom you consult asking you, hey, is this something we should be looking at?
I have gotten a few calls, and I talk about how really I leverage this as part of my career. And so it was really something they've given some thought to.
But it's an expense for Starbucks. I mean, this is money that's going to come out of the bottom line.
It is, but it will make it'll earn itself over and over again because their retention rate will go down. They don't have to keep rehiring.
And you know, people talk about this, the training of somebody, even at a job like a barista at Starbucks. Is there investment that adds up over time where it makes it cost efficient to do this?
Absolutely. Not only that, it creates a nice pool for succession planning because now you have more college-educated workers. Right now, only 70% of their workforce is college-educated. This will increase that number, and that'll be your next bench of leaders and future leaders for Starbucks. So it's really, they're planting some seeds now that will just really pay dividends later.
In fact, Starbucks, is it 3,000? I think 3,000 different stores throughout the country, and they're all owned by Starbucks. There's no franchise, is there?
I'm not sure about that, but I do know this is open for all of their employees.
All right. Well, we appreciate you talking to us about this, and I think there are a lot of people out there who are thinking, you know what, I'm going to go finish my degree or get my degree, because it sounds like a can't-miss deal.
Absolutely. It's really a win-win.
All right. Thank you for being with us. Be sure to pick up a copy of Keith's books, Good is Not Enough, and Other Unwritten Rules for Minority Professionals and Corner Office Rules, the 10 Realities of Executive Life. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.